BigHerc916, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. Like, subscribe, support. Just want to talk about pursuing your passions, and chasing ass is not a hobby. It's not a passion. It's an outlet to get your weenie wet, but you gotta have you a passion that goes beyond busting a nut. I say that because I've been there, man. I was a cold whore. I was a man whore at one point. When I got out of prison, after doing almost 9 years, I was on a mission to get my nutsack out of the dumpster. I had to let that thing, had to let it hang, man. And I was chasing a lot of ass. I was literally on dating apps like they were video games, and I was just knocking them down. It was easy. It was just like, you know, playing what you guys would consider Call of Duty. And that was my thing, man. I was like, wasn't looking for no commitments. I did all that time by myself, didn't have a female in my life. I felt like I was kind of kicked to the curb when it came to women, and couldn't even get a decent pen pal. So I said, you know, when I get out, I'm gonna get out here and just like have free reign. I was in great shape. I was broke, but I was still able to maneuver. And you know, there was a few females in there that weren't trying to, you know, let me bust them down because, you know, a brother couldn't afford to really take me anywhere decent. I mean, I was on a tight budget, man. It was a coffee shop, and then back then it was Red Box or Blockbuster, and then it was, you know, to the little cheap bed. And it was rough, man. It was rough. I mean, I had a blow up bed, right? I had one of those air mattresses, and you know, this is before I could even afford a cheap mattress. I had an air mattress, and in the middle of the night, I had to get up and plug it back in so that it would pump back up because I'd be sleeping on the floor. And so having me and a female on that thing, it wasn't happening. It was rough, and that was me, you know, renting a room. And I tell you, man, I was renting a room at a spot that was it was pretty rough, man. I mean, it was all I could afford, and I would have to walk through my roommate's room to get to my room. And so I would take a female through his room, and he'd be watching like Saw and you know, Hostel, some of these crazy horror shows, man. In the middle of the night, people getting chopped up, and I'd walk through there with the female, and she would look, and I had the room in the back, and I don't even think I had a dresser. I had maybe some containers with my clothes in them. I had an air mattress, and I had a bullshit blanket on there with a sheet and a pillow, man. And that's what I did, man. But I was, you know, I would chase the ass, you know, to a degree. That was one of my things. And then I'd be hustling. I'd be training clients. You know, I was doing personal training. I had my books I wrote. I was slinging my books, and that was my life, man. I wasn't looking for any commitments or anything like that. You know, I stumbled into my wife, and, you know, she kind of locked me in. But before that, man, I was just player, man. I wasn't trying to get caught up. I had catch up, you know, to do. I had to catch up with, I felt, all the time I missed out on, from 24 to 30, 33. You know, I was gone, man. I didn't. Those are the years where, you know, you kind of get it all out your system. You establish some type of relationship. you build your finances up, you have your ups and downs with your entrepreneurial endeavors. I missed all that. So I was on the late freight when it came to doing all that stuff. So being 34, 33, I think then I turned 34, and not having anything to show for it. No finances, no house, no car, no savings. I didn't really have, anything that I felt like as far as a hobby or passion I could put my energy into, because I had to eat, and it was like a sink or swim situation. So between chasing ass, which I felt like was almost something I had to get out of my system, to hustling, I didn't really have time for anything else. So it wasn't until I moved from Cali to AZ. Moved to AZ, and I kind of got a peace of mind that I could start working on stuff. I mean, I did some creative stuff in Cali too, like, did some hoodies, came out with some shoes. Me and my partner came out with slides, shoes. We had clothing and stuff like that. I did some clothing stuff, but I didn't really get into the art really tough until I got out here in Arizona. And, people are like, oh, you learned how to draw in prison, or you started drawing in prison. Man, I've been drawing since I was a kid. I mean, I've showed you guys before some stuff I did with Fidu for everyday use, and I designed that clothing brand when I was 15. I also did comic books when I was a kid. I entered art competitions, but the sad thing was I never really cultivated that. I never believed in that. I looked to the streets and believed more in the streets than I did in my own talent. So I didn't capitalize on a lot of my creative talents until now, and I'm, just kind of like getting into my groove. I feel I'm always trying to do better, but yeah, man, you got to have a creative outlet, and it's not chasing ass. Chasing ass is exciting, but you get to a point that you realize that there's more to life than just busting cheeks all day, because it's work. It takes a lot of your time, and luckily for me, I didn't have a bunch of kids running around out there, but a lot of you guys are busting down, and you got multiple baby mamas, you're dealing with drama situations, and that could be horrible, when you have to try to get time with your child, or you're dealing with a bad relationship. It was just a one night, and now you got, another individual now involved as a child, and it's just not cool when you can't be, both parents in the household. So I avoided that. I got lucky. I never really was out busting like that. A lot of mine was I put a Jimmy on, or I just think I didn't slip up like that. You easily slip up, but it didn't happen with me. Maybe because I was so broke at the time, they were making sure they didn't have no baby by me. But anyways, I'm doing a lot more art stuff now, and you looking at the background, I'm in my garage. I've taken over the garage too. I got an art studio upstairs in the house that I work out of, but in the garage I've been working on some tables and some other stuff. So I want to share that stuff with you guys to show what you can do when you can kind of get your mind tuned into your creative side and have that outlet. So I'm a fan of Porsches. I think Porsches are really cool. One of my first cool cars when I had a little bit of money I bought was a 911 slant nose. It was a wild car. It was so much fun. And I've never seen anybody in my neighborhood really drive a 911. I mean, my uncle had a 924, but the 911, it was just an iconic car. So when I bought that car, it was really special. But with my artwork, I like doing a lot of Porsche stuff. This is a table I did. It's a epoxy top. I painted it, put this Porsche silhouette on it. This is one of the tables I'm slanging right now. But yeah, this is something I like to do. It's relaxing for me. It kind of allows me to express myself. And then I got another table over here, the Porsche logo. This one is it's dope, man. It takes up the whole table, the logo. This is a cool little table to have in your man cave or wherever you want to have it at, in your living room. It's a talking piece. But the Porsche, once again, overall, as far as a car that does everything, I would say the Porsche, man. I mean, you don't really have to do a whole lot to it to get it to perform at a high level. I mean, there's so many different variations you can do with the Porsche car that it's limitless, and that's why they always appreciate in value, and just a really coveted car. And then I did this Rough table. Rough, if you don't know, is an aftermarket company that did a lot of Porsche tuning. They have the Rough Porsches are very collectible. They are just performance monsters. But I like this logo, so I did this table too. But this is how I pass my time. I mean, this one has epoxy top as well, just like this one over here. And working with epoxy is interesting. It's just, you got to be on top of it because the way it dries and the bubbles in it and it drips and all that stuff. But this is my artistic side, man. This is how I express myself now that I'm married. I'm not out chasing ass full time, or part time. Hanging out with the wife, and this is how I express myself. And it's crazy. I mean, I think about if I would have kind of got back into my art sooner, who knows? But, never too late. I'm still breathing, so here I am. And then I have, this is a Steve McQueen I did, Le Mans. I just finished this not too long ago. Just something kind of abstract and just different. I've seen this picture a bunch of times. I'm like, man, let me try to paint this, and I painted it. I think it came out pretty good. So that's another one I kind of like. Then I've been doing these suitcases, vintage. This is an abstract 300 SL Mercedes one I did. I think it came out pretty good. I like it. It's different, painting on vintage luggage is something, I don't know. I just seen it and I thought, hey, why not try paint on vintage luggage? And then I did this Bugatti one, abstract Bugatti Veyron on vintage luggage. So yeah, this is my creative side, man. This is kind of how I pass my time now outside of going to car shows and working on my cars. So this is kind of like my nerd side. And I wish for you guys out there who have that nerd side, it's okay to tap into it and be a nerd at times. And just follow your passion, man. Follow your passion. Pursue your creative side. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Like I said, don't get too caught up chasing ass. I know for you guys, it's a lot different now. You got all these other apps. I mean, when I was out there, it was Plenty of Fish, and what else was out there? There are some other sites out there, but you guys got like, man, shoot, there's so many out there. You guys got all the swiping and all the other stuff, and the DMs. And when I was out, man, it was MySpace and a couple other ones. Facebook was out, but it wasn't like it is now. So you guys, you got to watch out. Plus, these females, man, set your ass up. You be careful, man. It set you up. Might put something in your drink. Who knows, man? You think you're out chasing ass, and next thing you know, you might get brought up on a case, or it might be a situation they get pissed and say that it wasn't consensual. So be careful out there. You'd be better off painting and then, busting one down, because unless you got a female in your life that's really about you, that's not trying to use you, that wants you for you, and you can, if you catch one when you're up and coming, she's most likely a rider. Sometimes you catch these ones, you already got the Benz, the Ferrari, the Porsche, or the Jag, or Lexus, whatever it is you're driving, and it's cool, it's clean, and now they jocking you, they're thinking they can get something from you, or you got the Rollie. You got to watch out. You got to watch out, because they gaming just like you gaming. You gaming to try to bust them cheeks. They gaming to get in that pocketbook, or to get that 18-year check. That 18-year check to keep them, not having to work, and you having to go to court to pay that child support. So follow your passions, follow your dreams. Just sharing the story with you guys. you know, because I know, you know, chasing ass is a big thing. And I was a professional female cheek buster, and that was my passion for a while. I slowed up, got married, and now I'm putting my energy into art, which is a safer, less time absorbing hobby. And, you know, finding you a down woman in your life is important. So try to find you one, and you can get down with your creative side too.
Big Herc and pick you up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that BigHerc916 has authored.
Before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, but your funky ass. Go to BigHerc916.com and pick you up a bundle of soap and wash that funky ass for the holidays.